Culture and food is tightly related, but it also means how we eat in a day could differ a lot. That is why today I want to find out if it is easy or ridiculously hard to overeat in Malaysia. Growing up in Malaysia, it has been a blessing to be surrounded by some of the best food in the world. But I must admit, how I eat in a day probably isn't the best to represent how an average Malaysian eats in a day. So I texted one of the most Malaysian friends I knew, asked him how he would eat in a day and analyzed it. Let's just say the results were not what I expected. Now how we do this is simple. We first find out how much calories on a daily basis does a Malaysian male and female burn, which we could also refer as TDE, Total Daily Energy Expenditure. Now TDE varies, so I asked ChatGPT to help me make the calculations, and don't ask me why it used 30 years old as a reference. ChatGPT did it. Now throughout this video, we'll be getting the food we need, measuring the weight of each individual food component, using AI to calculate the calories based on the most accurate database it can access, and give it a rating based on the taste and how worth are they for the calories. We start off the day with breakfast. But apparently he doesn't really have breakfast, so we're going with one of the most Malaysian breakfasts out there, which is this pack of nasi lemak. Now in this small pack, there is a bit of fluffy rice infused with coconut milk paired with roasted peanuts, fried anchovies, egg, cucumbers, and most importantly, the sambal. Now without further ado, let's get to measuring and rating it. What can I say? A classic Malaysian delight. Fluffy aromatic rice with the spice of the sambal and the crunchiness of the peanut. It's just that this stall, the sambal lacks a little bit on the spice flavor, but the fragrance of the coconut rice definitely brings it up. But I will say that overall, it is a pretty mid, maybe above mid nasi lemak out there. You can definitely find better ones out there. So I'm giving this probably a 6 out of 10 in taste rating. But are they worth the calories? For 417 calories estimated of this pack of nasi lemak and bringing 10 grams of protein and 13 grams of fat and 62 grams of carbs, I would say that it is pretty worth the calories. To be honest, I wasn't expecting it to be this low in calories. Maybe it's because I bought the packet portion of it is pretty small compared to when you order a whole dish of nasi lemak. But the pack of nasi lemak, the calories are worth it. Moving on to lunch, he said he usually has chicken rice, banh mi, but I felt like eating rice today, so I got myself a pack of chicken rice, which is also a classic when it comes to lunch for Malaysia. Now to be clear, I didn't specify to get chicken breast for the protein source. I just ordered a simple roasted chicken rice, and somehow he gave me chicken breast. So take this into account. Taste-wise, it is the classic normal chicken rice. Nothing too special though, and the chicken, well, it is on the drier side and the chewier side. Even though it is breast, I feel like it may be overcooked. But macro-wise, if I had lunch that was 578 calories estimated, had 39 grams of protein, 17 grams of fat, and 58 grams of carb, well, I will be damned because the macros look pretty good to me. Chicken rice stalls are like in every hawker stall in Malaysia. And well, considering that I did get the breast and how much oil is used to cook the rice does vary the calories a little. But if the macros were like this, it is definitely worth the calories. Now throughout the day, he will have some snacks, and his go-to snack is soda crackers paired with Milo. Now I do have a almost finished iced coffee in my hands, but it was meant to be part of lunch, but I just forgot about it, so we're gonna add it into this session. This may be an improper way, but I like canned Milos more than the Milos we make ourselves. I just feel like the canned Milos have this extra layer of taste. It's just that it has an edge over Milo we make ourselves. I don't know how many of you agree with it, but canned Milos to me is the way to go. Now, this may offend some people, but I'm not really a big fan of this. Well, for starters, I love Milo, but I don't really like soda crackers. I don't hate them, but I don't really in particularly like them. How many calories are there anyway? Holy, 4 slices of this is 170 calories. And I barely felt anything after eating one slice. I could easily eat at least a quarter of this whole packet at once. Wow. Well, for taste-wise, personal opinion, I'm not a fan of it. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Are they worth the calories? Well, not really. Speaking from a fair standpoint of whether I like it or not, 170 calories for only 4 slices is insane. And people eat at least a quarter of the pack once. So, no. Just no, they're not worth the calories. Moving on. Now it's time for my favorite meal of the day, which is dinner. So for dinner, he usually gets something we call xiao cao in Malaysia, which typically transfer to small stir fry, I guess. What xiao cao is that usually in a hawker stall, there's a Chinese uncle or auntie behind the wok using hot searing and high flames to quickly cook individual portions of food to order. And the dish I decided to get today is called this. So what I ordered in front of me today is white rice paired with stir-fried curry pork. That's enough of the introductions, let's get to measuring and rating the food. The rice is nice, fluffy, perfectly cooked, and the curry pork has this aroma of spices surrounding it with a nice kick to it. My only downside is that it lacks a bit of the wok hei, but it is good overall. For taste, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. But for 600 calories and potentially 25 grams of protein, are the calories worth it? But for 600 calories per dish and potentially 25 grams of protein per dish, I would say that it is worth the calories. That wraps up a whole day of eating, and we ended up with 2,391 calories in total, which is honestly lower than what I expected. For the average Malaysian man, it is actually under the maintenance level. But for an average Malaysian woman, it is actually about 500 calories above the maintenance level. But that's not only the main message of this video. Yes, this may not be the perfect representation of how an average Malaysian eats. It is somewhat conservative in calories, and AI might calculate the macros slightly off. I believe you get my point by now. But throughout this video, it also shows that how small changes can make such a big difference. For example, swapping the chicken rice protein to chicken breast, not adding extra condiments to the nasi lemak. Little changes like this definitely drop the calorie count. With obesity rates rising every year, I guess it is safe to say that it all comes down to mindful eating. There's always a balance between enjoying food and maintaining health. And if you feel that balance is off, you can always start with making small adjustments. That is all for me. Stay healthy, don't forget to subscribe, and comment below if you want me to try this on another country. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.